Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and today I wanted to take a look at the Stryder from Titanfall, because right now I've noticed that either no one uses this amazing Titan, or they run in like a stampeding Kodo and get themselves killed instantaneously. Like, this is a very skillful chassis in the game. Like, you have to understand what's going on around you, you have to acquire threats, you have to avoid damage. There's a lot of things that you have to do right to get this Titan to work for you, but if you do, it is one of the most rewarding things that I've done in the game. Like, this is easily one of my favorite Titans to play in. It's an absolute blast, and I wanted to share this wealth of knowledge with you. And so the first thing that we really need to nail down here are the basics, because the Stryder is very unique compared to all of the other ones because it's extremely mobile. You get 3 sprints compared to the 2 of the Atlas and 1 of the Ogre, but you get hit extremely hard. You do not have a lot of health in this bad boy, and because of that, you need to take advantage of that mobility. I don't think many people realize this, but mobility is a resource. It is a stat that should be desired, not only just having a weapon that hits very hard, but if you're able to move around the map very quickly and you're able to take advantage of that, you're gonna have a leg up on the competition. And so when you are using the Stryder, you need to take full advantage of that mobility. And as I said, a lot of people don't seem to really be doing that right now. I've noticed a lot of people in the Stryder try to run up to their enemy head on, they try to punch him in the face, they try to go toe to toe with someone who's in an Ogre or even an Atlas, and of course they win or they lose that firefight because they just don't have the health to back it up. They still have the same amount of firepower, like their weapons do just as much damage as the other Titans, but because they're not taking advantage of that high mobility and they're just bum rushing their enemy, they're losing those engagements. And so when I'm using the Stryder, and where I found the most success, is that I will stay as far away as I possibly can from enemy Titans, and as soon as they try to close the gap, I'll just sprint away as quickly as I possibly can. If an enemy rounds the corner and I didn't realize they were there, I will completely get the hell out of there. I won't even usually try to fight them. I'll just run away, I'll let the shield take up and soak up the rest of the damage, and then hopefully, as long as they weren't able to just completely bombard me with 1,000 rockets, I will be in good shape to then turn around and then use cover as buildings to quickly jump in and out using sprint and then slowly whittle them down. You will probably notice throughout today's video that I will either use the chain gun, which is easily one of my favorite weapons in the game, or the 40mm cannon. And what's nice about these guns isn't that they hit very hard. Like, there are better, harder hitting Titan weapons in the game, but they have sustained damage. And one of the things about Titan versus Titan combat is that if you're able to continuously hit and take pot shots at your enemy, their shield will never be able to regenerate. And so if you're able to continuously shoot at your enemy with the 40mm cannon or the chain gun and continue to keep that shield off, you're going to slowly whittle down their health. And honestly, this is where we see the true potential of the Stryder, because as long as you're keeping your distance and using your mobility to duck behind cover and making sure that your shield doesn't drop, but keeping their shield off, there's not a whole lot they can do. Like, if you're going against the ever-popular Ogre or the Atlas, all they can really do in that firefight is to try and either run away, which isn't going to work because you have the mobility to catch up to them and then maintain your firepower, or they can try to close the gap, which also isn't going to work. So if they aren't using the chain gun or the 40mm cannon along with you, you're going to have an easy time destroying them. And that right there is the true power of the Stryder. Another tactic that you can employ, and I realize this is about to be a slight contradiction of everything I just said, is that with that high mobility, it also gives you a lot of options to flank your enemy. If you see an ally Titan going against an enemy and they're going toe to toe, it's an epic battle, rockets are flying all over the place, instead of trying to shoot at the enemy Titan from the front, if you know that there's a flanking route over to the left, use your ally as a distraction. Use your sprints to quickly move around and flank your enemy, and if you're able to get directly behind them, there isn't a whole lot that they can do. Like, they're pretty much a sitting duck at that point. And if you want to take it a step further and you're feeling a little bit risky, you can also just charge directly up to the Titan and then just punch them continuously in the back. It's going to do an absurd amount of damage. They'll pretty much have no retreat because they can't go past you or dash behind because you're sitting there, and then they have, your ally in the front. They're basically just a free kill, and then once it goes into doom state, one final punch, you'll grab that enemy Titan, you'll squeeze, his life juices will flow all over your Titan, and you'll get that glorious, glorious kill. And one thing that can make flanking just the easiest thing in the world is that you also have the ability to use dash core. It's just like like all of the other Titans, you got the Atlas that has increased damage. For the Ogre, you have increased shield. But for the Stryder, you basically have unlimited dashes for 10 seconds. And so there were some situations where I was on a map that was basically a gigantic circle. I can't remember what it was called at this instance, but basically I knew that there were 2 enemy Titans going toe-to-toe with my ally, and the only way I was going to be able to flank around was to go through the entire map, like the entire perimeter of the map. But because I had Dash Core activated, that only took about 5 to 10 seconds. Like, it was incredibly quick how I was able to move across the entire map. And then I flanked them, I did an absurd amount of damage, they had no idea I was there, and then we were able to quickly dispatch of them. Hopefully, it is becoming very apparent that mobility is king on this Stryder. It is the bread and butter of this Titan. That is your resource, and that is what you want to take advantage of. And if you are, you're going to be highly rewarded with it. And so, if you would like to use the Stryder, which you should because it's amazing, I do have a couple of customization recommendations. The Ordnance, I haven't really pinpointed one that I was super thrilled with. I was mainly sticking with all the lock-on missiles. I was actually really enjoying the Slave Warhead because you could lock on, quickly fire, and then duck behind cover. But honestly, all of them were fantastic. I also had a lot of fun with the Cluster missile. It basically just fires a missile at your enemy, and if it hits them, it starts to fire off smaller explosions around it, and so it could also be used as zone control. So if they try to push on towards you, they have to go through a cluster of explosions, continuously doing damage. And so that is another one that I would recommend. As for the tactical ability, I would say that this is going to have to go 100% to Electric Smoke. I know that some people really enjoy using the Vortex Shield because it allows them to absorb some of that damage and fling it back at their enemy, and I would say that is a fair substitute, but because the Stryder does not have a lot of health, hopefully I've driven that home. Like, you do not want to get any sustained fire on your Titan when you're in this bad boy. If anyone jumps onto your Titan and starts to rodeo and shoot at your innards, you're not going to last very long. Like, there were some instances when someone would jump on, I had like a 90% health left, and they would take down my Titan from 90% health all the way to 0 with one magazine. Like, you do not last very long. And so if you want to keep your Titan after that rodeo engagement, after they've jumped onto your Titan, you pretty much have to use the Electric Smoke. Like, every once in a while I was able to jump out and quickly dispatch of them, but you have to do it almost instantaneously. Like, right when you hear that someone's on your Titan, it's very distinctive sound, kind of sounds like someone's on your roof of your house. You need to either activate smoke or quickly jump out almost instantaneously and then run behind your Titan and quickly dispose of them. If you don't do it, your Titan's going to go into doom mode and you're going to lose it. So in my opinion, Electric Smoke is pretty much a must for this slot. But everything else is really just going to come down to personal preference and how you want to customize it to your type of playstyle. But overall, as I've been saying, use that mobility of the Stryder to your advantage, either to keep your distance and duck behind cover as often as you can, or to flank around and catch your enemy by surprise. You can't really go toe-to-toe with the other Titans, but as long as you're taking advantage of its strengths, you're going to do amazingly well. But that is about it for today's guide of the Stryder. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what your favorite Titan is so far. Do you love the Stryder as much as I do? Let me know down below in the comment section. But until tomorrow, have a good one and take it easy.